All right, welcome to Breaking the Golf Industry. I am your host, Cameron Cox, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. I'm going to be doing a solo podcast. Now, today, what we're going to be talking about is all things breaking into the industry. That's right, you new professionals, I'm speaking to you today. Now, if you're not new to the industry and you've been around for a while with some experience, maybe you're in a mentorship role at the moment, stick around because we're going to be speaking about some things that I've learned from some young professionals that have reached out and I've been having conversations with lately. Now, first off, we're going to be speaking about some of the things that I referenced in a recent conversation that I gave to the first year students at Georgian College. You know, there's three main topics that we talked about that resonated with the students and were really reflective in my career and in the things that I felt were really important in separating myself when it was coming to taking on those new opportunities. The goal of today is to not only learn and become excited and grow within the industry, but set yourself on your career path of where you're looking to go, learn where you should be putting most of your time, and make sure that you have an absolute concrete idea of how you are going to make it. And we're going to help you come up with a plan so that you can help accelerate your growth with a game plan on your professional development. Now, we're going to be talking about three main topics today: be known, be different, and be curious. After we're done speaking about these, we're going to head on to the questions that I asked to the new professionals within the industry and give some of their answers. I was really shocked by some of the information that was given, and I think that our industry is in for a real good treat for what's to come with the next set of professionals within the industry. All right, so most of you have heard it's not what you know, it's who you know. Now, I think that that's really important, but we need to take that a step further in the golf industry. The golf industry is such a small, tight-knit community, especially whether you're in a province or a state or wherever you may be. Golf industries know each other, they talk a lot, and it's a tight-knit community. It's really easy to know people within the industry, but what really separates young professionals apart is being known. Now, there's a big difference here. You could know everyone in the industry, but if they don't know you and they don't know what resume is coming across their desk, then that's the disconnect that's going to take you to that next step within your career. Now, what's it mean to be known? Being known means a couple different things. First off, it's setting yourself apart. It's doing the things that other people aren't doing so that people remember you. If you're in hospitality already, you might already know this, but a lot of people don't remember what you say. They remember how you make them feel. If you can make somebody feel important, you make them feel curious, you make them think, this is going to go a very long way into growing you and to be known to other professionals within the industry. There are so many great opportunities to be doing this, whether it's going to professional development courses, talking to people on LinkedIn, whether it's sitting down with the pro that's at your golf course or going to a different golf course that's around the corner from you. The golf industry is in desperate need for good people, and us pros want to help grow the next generation of golf professionals and help them learn all the things that we have learned and have helped us along the way. People want to help you, but you need to get in front of them to show them that you are interested in the help, that you are ready to grow, motivated, and passionate about those next steps. So what's it mean to be known, and how do you separate yourself? I think it's super important when you're going to these professional development courses, that's your first step. Make sure you're in the room with these professionals that, you don't have the opportunity to be with each and every day. So make sure that you're taking advantage of any opportunities that you can to go to these summits, these seminars, whatever it may be. Get in the room and make yourself known within that crowd. How do you do that? I've got two main things that I think will separate you right off the bat. First and foremost, and something that I've always told all the pros that work for myself, is when you go to these events, don't sit with your friends. Okay, we want to make sure that we're learning and we're meeting new people. The best thing that you can do is separate yourself, get out of your comfort zone, and go meet new people. Have a goal of who you want to meet. Try to find out a little bit about everyone that's in that room and find the key people that you think are important to be speaking to. Tons of new golf professionals get too comfortable and they don't want to get out of their comfort shell and they just sit with their friends and hang out with them. Really, there's such an opportunity to learn more, grow more, be known, but no one's taking advantage of it. So separate yourself apart and take those steps to sit in a new area with new people and talk to them. Talking to them gets to my next point. Make sure you're asking great questions. It's one thing to ask a question, and that might get you remembered by somebody, but if you can ask a thoughtful, thought-provoking question, that's going to land with somebody, and they're going to remember that for a long time if it's done properly. So make sure that you're taking the time to think of questions. Whenever a speaker says, "Does anyone have any questions?" Don't sit on your hands and think that it's not the time for you to be speaking. Make sure that you come prepared with curious, thought-provoking questions that you can either ask speakers or people at the table with. Now, recently, over the last 2 weeks on LinkedIn, I put a post out asking for young professionals to reach out to myself and answer a couple of questions about the industry to get some clarity on where they think the industry is going. And I'll tell you what, the people that were following up with me, continuing the conversation, thanking me for my time, now those are the people I remember. I can think of them off the top of my head right now. Some people think that just liking or sending a comment is always good enough and that that's going to remind people of who you are. And that's not always the case. You need to take the steps that are there to make yourself known. Do the things that other people are not doing. It doesn't take much. A thoughtful thank you message or a follow-up, it goes a long way. So please make sure that you're taking the time to have proper conversations, but also stepping out, make yourself known by thanking somebody, following up with them, asking them more questions, and being curious to learn from them. So that wraps up our first key point, which is be known. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. Now we're going to be moving on to our next point, which is be different. Okay, so what does be different mean? First off, and you've heard me say it already, you need to get out of your comfort zone. Okay, everyone's so stuck in their ways, so stuck with just staying the way they are. You need to get out of your comfort zone and be different. You new professionals are bringing such insight to this golf industry that some professionals aren't aware of already. It's important that you use that. Use your creativity. Use the insight that you already have and try new things that are going to make you stand out. One of the things that I learned through trial and error was don't always just ask if you can do something. Sometimes it's best to take the initiative and do before you're asked and to really lean in and own something. I'll give you an example. When I was working up north at a golf course that had no club building facility within 45 to an hour away, I took it upon myself, instead of continually asking, can we do this? Can we do this? To start learning how to build clubs. I saw an opportunity for where a need needed to be met, but wasn't yet being met. I knew that if I started asking for permissions and waiting for approvals, it was going to take way too much time and that nothing by the end of the season was going to happen. So I took it on upon myself to reach out to some professionals that were in the club building space, and I asked for some guidance on how to get into the club building side of the industry so that I could provide that service for our facility. Again, these don't have to be big, audacious things that you're taking on. Taking on small tasks that can bring big impact to your facility can prove to set you apart to a whole new level, especially when you start talking about resumes and going through interview processes. You need to set yourself apart by being able to tell a story of what's different about you. Being different isn't always about learning new skills or implementing things at your club. It's about the story that you can tell about yourself when you're getting into these interviews that's going to separate yourself from everyone else that's going through that process. Being different is not for everyone, and it's going to take you being different than everyone else that is going for these roles. If you take the time to just be known and to just be different, the opportunities that are going to be put in front of you are going to go way further than a job board that you can see all the different positions that are available. Opportunities are going to start coming to you. People are going to start asking you, where do you want to work? Mentors might give you an idea or suggestion on where you should be going. If you really want to set yourself apart and tailor yourself the opportunities to go into the industry and where you want to go to, if you can just be known and be different on those two things alone, that's going to take you to a whole new level that not many professionals at this time in the industry are taking. But there's one final one that I think is so important. Now, Whether you are just getting into the industry or you've been in it for a couple of years, young professionals have such an awesome opportunity to bring their youthfulness and energy into the knowledge that they create. We live in a time where there's some exciting things going on, whether it's AI, whether it's technology, anything in these realms that are coming up, social media. A lot of people haven't been around a long time for this, and you're coming up with learning this for the last couple of years and being very involved in it. Being curious is what's going to set you apart to that final level. If you stay stagnant and just think that maybe you've gone to school, maybe you've learned what you've needed to, and you just put everything on the back burner, you might be known and you might be different, but the growth that you're going to be able to give over the next couple of years is going to start to get stagnant. We live in a time where resources are at your fingertips, whether it's podcasts, whether it's books, whether it's audiobooks, whether it's talking to mentors. There are so many opportunities out there that are right at your fingertips, and it's so important to keep going and to keep being curious and learning as much as you can. One thing that I think is really important in speaking to some of the professionals that I have over the last couple of weeks is finding your niche and finding maybe what you're going to be curious about. For me, over the past couple of years, I feel like I was very lucky in the things that I chose. I chose media. I thought that there was a great opportunity that golf courses were going to get more involved with media, telling stories and publishing them online, whether through social media, through their website, or any other opportunities. I thought AI was going to be a big thing. I remember when ChatGPT first came out, I was so scared I didn't even know if it was a real thing, so I made a fake account so that I didn't have to worry about getting hacked. But I knew that if this was true, this was going to open up a whole new opportunity of skills and development within the industry. And I knew that jumping headfirst in, this was going to provide opportunities that it was going to take people a long time to catch up to that same amount of level. And finally, the other thing that I got interested in was coding. And I thought that for sure with every way that the industry is going from a technology standpoint, coding was another thing that other golf professionals weren't doing. I don't know many golf professionals that were getting into that side of the space. And again, if you're trying to be different and be known, it's finding these avenues that other people might not be interested in yet or might not be seeing the value in, and you might have a sneak peek at what those opportunities are. So make sure that you are taking every single opportunity with those, diving in and growing as much as you can on these skills that are going to separate you from anyone else that might be going for the similar positions for you. So again, whether you're a new professional that's just getting in, or maybe you just got your pro card, there are a couple things that are really going to set you apart that are going to help you land that job that you're wanting. They're going to help get you in front of the professionals that you want to speak to, that are going to get you the opportunities to grow your path through professional development or involvement within your associations. So make sure you are taking all of those experience into account. You're being known, you're being different, and you're always being curious. Now I'm going to flip the script a bit, and I'm going to talk about some of the things that I learned when I was speaking to the new professionals. Now, for you head pros and general managers that might be listening in now, there's some great insight that are coming from these new professionals that I think are so important to be sharing. You know, one of the big common themes, which I feel like has always been the case, is these new professionals have a passion for golf. They have a passion for business and see that the golf industry is a great vessel for doing that. To see the energy that's coming through some of these new professionals, it's inspiring and great to see everything that they see in front of them and want to tackle. Now, I was surprised to see that not all these students or professionals were looking for the same roles. I feel like we're getting to a point where the golf industry is growing so much and there's a vast difference in all the different opportunities that are available. One of the things that surprised me was how receptive these new professionals were to off-course facilities. Now, 10 years ago, if you told somebody about a golf simulator, chances are you didn't give it much thought. you definitely didn't think of it as a career path, and you definitely didn't think that there was an opportunity that this is a direction that the golf industry would likely be going in the near future. One of the things that I was noticing was some of these professionals were stepping aside from the traditional country club, work placement, or areas of where they wanted to work. And they saw a good need in these new facilities that were coming up where they had an opportunity to not only learn the business side, but to grow into the teaching side of the industry as well. Now, early professionals, I was talking about being curious. And one of the things that came up from a couple of professionals, and I think that this is a super important part of the industry to get to that I hadn't been thinking about myself, is online learning. Now, whether you're using an app like Skillist or Coach Now, it was very clear to me that new people within the industry saw that lessons had the opportunity of being remote, had the opportunity of becoming more involved on some sort of technology platform. So here's a great opportunity to take on that experience, learn more about it, and start to implement that into whatever you're going to be doing as a professional. Now, head pros and general managers, I'm talking to you on this one. I started talking to these professionals about mentors. Now, one thing was very clear. All of these individuals thought mentors were a very important thing and really wanted that opportunity. But no one I had talked to yet had yet found a mentor that was taking the time to meet with them and helping them grow their industry. Here is an awesome opportunity. Whether you're in need of new staff or looking to grow young professionals and help people from the experiences that you've had in your career, new people within the industry are looking for mentors. Mentors have played a huge role in my development over my time as a professional, and I know that it's probably for you as well if you've become a head pro or a general manager. So here's your opportunity to get involved with some of these young professionals. A lot of these men and women are eager, they're excited, they want to grow, but they might not know who they can go to for these opportunities. Now, I did encourage each and every one of these individuals to find a mentor and to reach out and try to make those introductions. But if somebody comes to you with the opportunity to be a mentee, or you see somebody that has a lot of potential in the industry, take the time to meet with them. Take the time to grow. Maybe you're their mentor that they can go to. This is an industry that is so tight-knit. We've got such a great community, and mentorship plays a huge role in the development, not only of the person being mentored, but the mentee as well. Being a mentor could be extremely fulfilling. It can help you guide professionals into growing the industry, setting new standards within our industry, and helping grow the next generation. So I encourage all of you, if you do have the opportunity to be a mentor, take it and don't take it lightly. There are some really keen individuals out there that are thirsty for mentorship and can really benefit of it. And who knows, maybe they'll be your next assistant, or maybe they'll help you grow your team to a level that you never thought was possible. Maybe they'll be that person that you can count on for a couple years at a time. Taking the time to be curious about these individuals is going to help you go a long way as a mentor as well. So that about wraps up everything for this solo podcast on breaking into the industry. For you young professionals, I want to remind you one more time, be known, be different, and be curious. And for you head pros and general managers, there's incredible professionals out there that bring such a great perspective to the industry, and that with a little bit of mentorship can really help bring them along the way that could eventually even help you within your teams as well. So take the time to reach out, take the time to get to know some of these individuals, and it will be amazing to see where it takes both of you. So that wraps it up for this solo podcast. Now, this isn't going to be normal, but I wanted to help take the time for new professionals to learn what it takes to break into the industry and to find out how they can separate themselves apart. So stay tuned for more podcasts where we've got some amazing guests coming up. And thank you again for listening. We hope you enjoyed. For more information on the podcast, please visit fourunder.ca/podcast for updated episodes, show notes, or any extra downloads or content that might be available there. Thank you again, and let's break the golf industry.